Good afternoon from AlphaCars. My name is Tom, coming to you from our Northampton location, and today I'm very excited to share with you this 2008 Ducati 1098. Currently showing just over 9,600 original miles, and of course if you'd like to see a high-resolution detailed photo set, please reference the listing at alphacars.com. But today let's take a quick condition overview of this stunning motorcycle, as well as go over some of the more interesting features. Now, of course, the first thing you'll see starting here walking around the outside is just that incredible red paint scheme. It's all in fantastic condition as we look really closely. Absolutely gorgeous. There's no scuffs here where your knees slot in on that sculpted tank. There's no marks on the fairing anywhere. I always say look at the widest points of a motorcycle when you're evaluating a used bike. So look at the ends of the grips. Look here at the mirrors, outer edge of the front just there, corners of the front fender, and of course, as we see here, it's absolutely stunning. This bike is in just fantastic condition. So let's go piece by piece here. Of course, we did mention the tank. You can see that sculpted design is absolutely beautiful. The nice silver Ducati script just there. You can see, just to guard the paint finish from your jacket and your zipper and whatever may be rubbing up against that beautiful red paint, you do have this stunning carbon fiber guard panel just there. A nice sporty seat that is actually very comfortable with this massive rear area that's going to hold you nicely in place under acceleration, which this bike certainly requires. This bike is no joke. You can see here another bit of carbon fiber where you could place a rear seat pad if you were brave enough. And you can see some venting just there on either side. Making our way a little bit further back, you can see that skinny tail light. You can also get a nice view in to see that, yes, indeed, those vents are functional. Well, I know I can see it. Maybe you can see it a little bit through there, but I can see clearly through there to the naked eye. Tail light lenses look fantastic. Looking at this painted exposed frame is very cool as well. You can see it starts here down low by your controls and wraps up meeting neatly there in the middle at the steering head. You can see all of the hardware here as well, holding those fairings on the side. All are perfect. So now let's take a look here right at the nose of the motorcycle. You can see that windshield in absolutely perfect condition. No scratches to report anywhere. It's all crystal clear here at the front. Headlights look great as well, with some more functional vents just below there. And of course, Ducati being very Italian and dramatic, they styled this bike absolutely beautifully. Now let's go a bit more technical. Looking here at the front fender, gorgeous carbon fiber composite just there with that Ducati emblem just there at the front. If we could focus just there. Front tire in nice condition as well. You can see the strip showing the wear is very, very far from the edge of the tire, and that's a really nice way to tell how a bike was treated, or at least how it was ridden. You can see this one didn't lean over too much, at least on this set of tires. You can see the Brembo brakes, absolutely beautiful, massive calipers with dual pistons and twin rotors here, one on either side, and they both look absolutely perfect. Looking here, you can see this massive disc, and you may be wondering what that is. Those of you more familiar with Ducati will not be surprised to hear that it is a dry clutch. So we're going to get a bit more into that before we fire it up, but the clutch being exposed just there is very cool, and it adds, let's just say, a unique sound to the way this bike runs. Now, just underneath all this covering, I know it's hard to see because all of this fairing work, and you can see all the cooling just there, but the powertrain in this Panigale is an absolute gem. So let's touch on that for a quick second. Now, the badge does say here 1098, so you're going to think, okay, that is a 1098cc inline twin something. So no, actually, what we're looking at here is a 1099, funny enough, cc L twin, that Ducati likes to call it because of the angle at which the cylinders depart from each other. But you can see one cylinder just here. You can see that cylinder head, and another one is buried somewhere way up there. You can almost see the trajectory from here, but this engine is an absolute monster. So when this was released, it was about the most powerful, twin powertrain on any motorcycle available. So this two-cylinder motor, mind you, produces about 160 or so horsepower and around 90 pound-feet of torque. And all of that comes in really punchy, really far down low. And I must say that I've only ever ridden a handful of bikes in my life that felt like this one, which is that the bike just wants to go faster, faster, faster. That's all this bike wants to do. And it's really cool. Of course, it's well beyond my skill level, but my manager here at AlphaCars, Anthony, he told me he rode it, and it's absolutely wonderful once you're out used to it on the road. It's actually quite comfortable and manageable, but to me, only doing a short ride, it certainly feels willing to go, and it's very cool. So anyway, getting away from that because I am getting too into this bike. You can see the Öhlins rear suspension with that external reservoir. It is adjustable, and it looks beautiful. You can see a bit more carbon fiber just ahead of this rear tire, which is also in great shape, and you can see that wear mark very far from the edge yet again. Looking here, of course, single-sided swing arm, so we get a stunning view of the wheel here, which looks just incredible. But here you have that single-sided swing arm. All of it looks great. You can see the very complex way in which the sprocket and wheel are mounted. You can see that inboard rear brake rotor. Controls here on the left side look great as well. So before we fire it up, of course, it's going to be hard for you to hear me because, and pardon my pronunciation, Termignoni exhaust, undertail dual exit in stunning condition. It's going to be kind of hard to hear me, so I'll explain before we do so. You're going to hear a bit of a strange noise, and that would be this dry clutch. Now, you're used to maybe hearing motorcycles running very quietly, nice smooth engine. This sounds very choppy. It's very loud, again, thanks to the exhaust, but also because this clutch is a dry clutch as opposed to a wet clutch like most motorcycles will have, you're going to hear a clacking almost. And I'll pull in the clutch and release the clutch so you can hear that difference. So just know nothing is awry here. This bike sounds extremely healthy, though it is a bit unorthodox for people who haven't heard them before. So I'm going to hit that kill switch, and I have to do this with one hand on the clutch, so let's try to make this work. Now I'll squeeze the clutch so you can get a feel for how it sounds when you change that. Now a couple light revs as the bike is up to temperature. So as I mentioned, bit of a different sound than you may be used to, but Ducati fans will be absolutely familiar with that. Don't be, worried. That's exactly how it should sound. And as you can see, extremely responsive to my throttle input as I twisted the right grip just there. Very, very predictable engine, however, and I think they're absolutely lovely. You cannot get a motorcycle with more soul and passion behind it than one of these Ducati Panigales, especially from this era. Now, a couple last touches because I could ramble on forever. Again, you have that Brembo braking system, which means you also get Brembo levers and reservoirs, which is great because the feel on these levers is so predictable. These nice hydraulic levers just there. On both sides, they feel absolutely stunning. You have your controls there to fire up the motorcycle, and your controls just on this side to navigate the different menus in the gauge cluster, as well as your turn signals, headlights, and etc., your flasher and your horn. And just here in the center, you do have your steering dampener, which, as you can see, as I move the steering, does, actuate and help dampen those inputs. But I could go on forever. As I mentioned before, definitely check out the photo set we have at alphacars.com because this bike just looks absolutely incredible from all angles, and we'd love for you to check that out. But if you have any further questions related to this stunning Panigale, please reference that listing at alphacars.com because there you'll find all of the relevant contact information. Thank you so much for your time and have a wonderful rest of your day. We hope to hear from you soon. Thank you from AlphaCars.